what I am giving you here in this channel, Yoga and Perception, is what an engineer can understand about the magic of this practice. I believe that this knowledge I'm opening here, it's going to be very big, very important for humanity. As you know, well, maybe you don't, 70 years ago, nutrition was something not many doctors will consider thinking about health, and this completely changed. So this is, I think, is the next step. This is the next step in health. We are going to this situation where we develop our awareness of our inside, what scientists call the interoception sense, which is the information which is coming from every cell of our body through the nervous system to our brain. That's the interoception sense. So all this is brought to me by this practice, yoga. It's important to check at the way we understand space, because in the matrix, the way we think space is, not the way space is, but the way we imagine space. It's three-dimensional. It fits in this room, you know, long, high, well, you know. If I make you think in this context about infinite, I mean, I don't know about you, but most people in our culture, when we think about infinite, even myself, I still have the remains this. I think about the stars, you know. I mean, I understand the concept of infinite in a classroom. But then, where is infinite, you know? For my body perspective, the way I feel the space around me, where is infinite? I say it's far beyond, you know? So it's the vastness of the greatness, mighty whole, that whole us. This is definitely one infinite. But there is another infinite. So we think that this infinite holds us, but this is not exactly like space work, because there is the big infinite and the small infinite, the smallest thing. So in one universe, we are dust in the universe, and in the other one, we are what the universe is looking at, to something very, very small. I mean, from the wholeness of us to the smallest thing. And our life, our body, our organical transcendence, managing gravity forces, it's between these two infinites, from the smallest, from the mighty to the smallest. So the universe doesn't hold us, but instead we are in between the big infinite and the small infinite. And why this is important for yoga, for movement, or for your spiritual reality? Well, it happens that all the forces we make with our body, and it also happens when you design a car, you have a mass center. And a mass center is something that if you make a car road and you see the forces coming to the chassis through the wheels, you're going to see that all this force, if you can see this energy, the force, like in a computer graphic, we see all the forces going to the mass center, and from there to outside. The response of these forces, the chassis response of this, it's always from the inside to the outside. So every movement in our body is going from this core we have, and which we'll be talking about, because the idea of core we have is not precise, but because there is not one core in one place. The core is something we can move along our body. But that's a very, very big. We will get into that further in further videos. Finding this core, it's going back to our body, to our nature, to our child, to the awareness of what's happening to us, not just for specialists or high-performance athletes or dancers, which, by the way, they train. Part of their training is to focus their own movement in their core. But this is in our nature. Finding the core is what comes next to learning how to walk, which is, we are wired for that. We born and we naturally grow learning how to walk. And what comes next to walking is to find our core. What should come next, and that's why I say this knowledge is so important, and it should be in elementary school, because finding our core, it's looking for symmetry in biology, symmetry. And symmetry, it means for us physiologically health, it means strength, speed, it means length, I mean to last longer. We use we from prehistoric times, we look for symmetry instantly, because we find there the best way to last our peace on time. We look in the beauty of a person. It's important, but it's a undergoing process. It's a subconscious process. So in the search of this core in our body, we find something about what we call the balance and the flow of the movement. If you don't know what your core is, I give you some engineering yogi perspective to find it. First, you have to look in your body, in the symmetry of your body, in length. I mean, from your core to your feet, and from your core to your head. You split your body in two. You look at a mirror, you look at yourself in a mirror, and say, okay, which part it's stronger? And you go for the other one. I mean, if you're like me, if you are a runner and you have strong legs, you have to work out. We will get into there, but we have to develop this to find symmetry. And also, we have to split our body in axle, left, right. So all the things we do, because we know how to do, like writing or moving the mouse or whatever you do with your right hands, you have to learn it with your left side. If you kick, if you play soccer, you kick with the right, then you have to learn how to do it with the left. So in these two axles, we look for symmetry. There is a point just where those axles cross, and that's our core. And to find our core means to, it's like with a camera, you focus where the energy is vague. Let's say with our muscles, we have 675 muscles, and each one of these muscles has a different direction in space. So when we contract a muscle, we create a vector of energy, a vector of movements. So if you add all this vector in space, you're going to see that they're all synergetically, when we walk, for example, goes in relation with the geometric of our body. It goes in one direction. But this direction could be very unfocused. I mean, it's like an average of many different strengths. When you fine-tune your imaging, we'll go there, what is imaging? What happens is that all this effort finds a very efficient line in space, you know, something very precise, like the hit of Bruce Lee to a person's chest, and the other one flies 7 meters back because of he is able to put all his power in one point. So it's obvious why a high performance athlete or a dancer need this, but it's not obvious in common people. For people who work in a chair in front of a computer, the concept of imaging their core, it's not present because nobody taught them. We can imagine something crazy, we can imagine something out of reality, but this is not the kind of imaging we use to find our core, but instead is visualization of real forces that they are always interacting with our body. For example, when we walk, there are real vectors in space, and if you feel with your interoception sense these vectors, you can, with the power of your imagination, you can predict where to put your force synergetically, convergently, and there you have the best of your geometry. can give you on a stage, on a competition, but also when you walk into a restaurant, the way you walk, the flowness of your movements, it's a consequence of you getting in control of your core. We are putting all this theory in practice, in movement, on the third season. This is the end of the second season, where I am giving you what you have to know to deal with what your practice trigger. So this is complementary to your yoga classes. This is not a channel. If you look at this, it's not that you are doing yoga, but this information will be useful to understand the process of that your body goes through with the practice, because it changes the way we handle our energy for life.